is going on? Welcome to this week's episode of the Second of Strength podcast. Wherever you're at, I'm grateful you're here. I'm grateful you're listening. I'm grateful you're spending your valuable seconds with me. This episode has been on my mind a lot recently. We're going to talk about how we can stop worrying about other people's opinions. I think that is one of the most damaging things to our personal growth that there could possibly be in this world. And the problem is that social media has compounded the voices that we hear that are not our own, and it infiltrates our minds and makes it harder for us to become the person that we want to become, harder for us to be happy, harder for us to step into our potential because we're constantly listening to the noise of other people. And here's the thing is, and where I've really been thinking a lot about this recently is that I think that when we listen to other people's opinions, a lot of other people's opinions are fears of their own that they are projecting on you or projecting on me. And so then we limit who we are and limit what we can become because somebody else is scared of becoming who they can become. And it creates this like bubble that just needs to be popped because we have to move forward. We have to grow. We have to become the people that we want. So I want to help you today. We're going to talk a little bit about worry, why we should not worry about other people's opinions. I'm going to give you some specific steps that I've used in my life that I think that you can use in your life that are going to help you. So whether you are an adult, you're a mom, you're a dad, you are a teenager, this episode is for you because this episode, when we stop listening to other people's opinions, and start listening to what we want and what we believe for ourselves, then that is where the most growth is going to happen in our life. So here's a couple of things. I think that a couple of things that are problems with other people's opinions. One, we can't try and read other people's minds because here's the biggest fact is we are usually wrong. Have you ever done that? I know I've done it so many times. Maybe it's at work, maybe it's at school, maybe it's whatever, but like something happens or maybe something, someone hasn't responded to you for a while and all of a sudden you start projecting into their mind what is going on and you have no idea what's going on, right? Or maybe, if you work, maybe you haven't received an email for a while and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I haven't received an email. Something must be going on. They're probably talking about me. I'm probably, they're going to let me go. I don't know. There's a problem. We are worrying about the wrong stuff. Nobody is thinking about us on that level. Everybody has other things going on. So we can't try and read other people's minds because the fact of the matter is we are probably wrong. And there's studies out there that show this. There's studies out there that show that the more we try and project what other people are thinking, the more we're wrong. And so we have to stop. We have to stop. So if you're doing that, just take a step back, recognize that we can't control what other people are thinking, but we can't let what we don't know about what other people are thinking control us. So one, stop trying to mind read. Two, you have to consider the source. Who is the person that is projecting their opinions on you? I think in social media land, we do this a lot where I post one of the biggest downfalls to social media growth, and I've been fortunate from a career perspective that my social media has grown from, a small base to over 150,000 followers right now, which is great because it helps me get into more schools, helps me help more people. So I'm very grateful for it. But one of the biggest downfalls of social media growth that nobody talks about is that the more you grow, the more opinions other people are going to have of you. The more people feel entitled to post on your posts and say certain things. This is crazy, y'all. I posted a post one time about, I don't know what it was, 3 things for teenagers or helping teenagers, helping people. I don't know what it was, but some tools and tips and motivation to help people. And someone commented and said, I think this is great advice, but I can't take you seriously because you have a hat on backwards. And I was like, what are you talking about? And what's crazy about that, and I didn't listen because I wear a hat backward all the time. I don't have a hat backward on right now, but I do have a hat on, just so you're aware. But I didn't listen. I didn't care because I have insulated myself from those types of things. And I know people are going to say things about me, say things online that really don't matter, but you have to consider the source. Who is this random person online who is saying something random about you, having an opinion about you, and all of a sudden we care? Why? Why would we care about that? We can't let somebody else's opinions like that impact us, because I think too often, like, we limit our potential because we're worried about what they will think. Well, who is they? Who in the world are we worried about? Because if it's not your friends and if it's not your family who already know who you are and already know everything about you, then why do we care what they think? We don't know who these people are. You don't know who they are. And most often, you don't even like those people. So we're worried about people's opinions and we don't even like them and we don't even know who they are. Y'all, like, think about that for a minute. Think about that. Whose opinion are you really worried about? Is that somebody's opinion that you should really be worried about? Do they really, and I'm not saying that people don't matter. People are great. Everybody matters, right? Like, you matter. Everyone matters. But if their opinions are impacting you, then they aren't the right people for you, right? Because your family, they already know who you are. Your friends, they already know who you are. They, them, those other people, I don't know who they are and they don't know who you are. So why would we let their opinions of us infiltrate our mind and impact our happiness? That doesn't make sense to me, and it shouldn't make sense to you. So you get to make that choice to not let those people, the theys of the world, impact you. So the third thing is I think that we are our own worst critic. We think we mess up, something happens, maybe we don't perform at our best, maybe whatever it is, and then we project that the world is falling apart and other people are having these great opinions of us and they're talking about us and all these things. And the reality is they're not. And we are being more critical on ourselves than they could possibly be. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone messes up. And when we mess up, we can't worry about that all of a sudden, like, the world is going to fall apart because of some simple worry. It's just not that. That's just not the way it works. But I know that we do that. I know that we put more and more weight on our shoulders for the minor mistakes and the minor things that we need. And a lot of it comes down to perfectionism. We think that we have to be perfect, and you don't have to be perfect because nobody's perfect. And if you mess up, that's okay. Let's learn from it. But let's not assume that everybody out there who, saw us mess up or whatever it is going to have this huge, major, opinion of us, and that it causes us to worry. We just shouldn't do that, because here's the thing. There's a quote, and I don't remember. So shout out to whoever did this quote. I don't remember who did it, but it says, worrying doesn't take away tomorrow's troubles. It takes away today's peace. Worrying doesn't take away tomorrow's troubles. It takes away today's peace. That is what happens when we are constantly worrying about other people's opinions, when we are constantly worrying about what people think about us, when we are constantly worrying about all of this noise and all of the things that are going on out there. It doesn't help us prepare or do anything for tomorrow. All it does is it steals our happiness today. And that's why we have to limit our negative perceptions, limit the noise, limit the things that we're worried about and the other people's opinions and all of those things, because when we eliminate those from our lives, we stand to be happier. We are the ones that are gained from it. So there's a couple of ways that I think we can do this. One is we will stop worrying about what other people think when we start caring more about what we think. I want to say that again. We will stop worrying about what other people think when we start caring more about what we think. When we bring that internal, then we stop worrying about the external. When we start focusing on us and focusing on the things that we can control, we will stop caring and stop worrying about the things that we can't control, which is all of the opinions of other people. It all comes down to us. And so where we do that is that we have to get really, really solid. Shut out the world. You can disconnect from the world. You can always turn off social media. You can always step away from the things that are causing you. If it's friends groups, if it's things like that you need to step away from for a minute, so that you can really establish the things that you know and your core values and your core beliefs. When you become so sturdy in those things, when that becomes your foundation, when that becomes your base, the things that you believe and the things that you know, the truths, when you know those things, you will stop focusing and worrying about the things that are not that, right? if you are on a stable base, a stable foundation of what you know and the things that you think about, then you will stop worrying about all the other things that you're not that other people are thinking about. So second is, don't put yourself in those places. If you are in a spot where you are constantly worrying about other people's opinions, worrying about what they think, well, pay attention to where that is. Who are those people and where are you doing that? Is that online? Is that social media? If that's social media, there's things that you can do. One, you can just walk away. You can take a break. There's nothing out there that says you can't. I always say, when you find your 1 second of strength to detox yourself, to walk away from social media, whatever it is, or unfollow someone, you find your 1 second of strength to walk away from the thing that's hurting your heart, the very next second will be the best second of your life, because in that second you will feel free. In that second, the weight will be lifted off your shoulders. So where are you going to where you are listening to other people's opinions and where that is impacting you and weighing you down and causing worry in your life? Where is that place? Let's separate ourselves from that place. If it's people, let's find new people. If it is social media, let's unfollow those accounts. If it is social media and people commenting on your posts, well, one, what are you posting? If it's good stuff, great, then let's continue to do that. But you can turn off commenting. You can not read the comments that people post. There's ways that you can insulate yourself from the negativity of the world so that you can increase the positivity in your own mind. That's the fact. I'll say it again. There's ways that you can eliminate the negativity of the world so you can increase the positivity that is in your own mind. And if we're not doing that, then I think that we're doing ourselves a disservice. So number 3 is repeat your personal mantras. And so what are these personal mantras? Well, I always call them your I am statements. What are the truths that you can say about yourselves that will constantly increase your personal value so that you're not listening to the other noise that's out there? What are those things? I am strong. I am brave. I am capable. I am beautiful. I am smart enough. What are those truth statements? And they are true. I will say they are true. So I think sometimes we get in this negative space where we aren't saying kind things to ourselves. Let's say the truth about ourselves, and let's make those our solid foundation for those I am statements. Because just because somebody doesn't see your value doesn't mean you should decrease your worth, right? We have to continually insulate ourselves and add to our value with the truth statements, even though a lot of negatives and a lot of not true statements are out there, and then start swirling around our minds. So that's the third one. And fourth, I want you to replace those negative opinions and those worries, right? I want you to replace those worries like immediately with positivity. We are conditioned as human beings to, and some people are worse at this and some people are better at this, but some people, we are always conditioned to think negative thoughts. I think the study says that we think like, I don't remember this. I won't quote it because I don't know, but we think thousands of negative thoughts. We have to immediately replace those negative thoughts with positive ones. And that's a practice, that's a training. Mindset is about training your brain to do those things consistently. And it's setting your mind. We have to train our brain consistently. The beauty of it is you have your 1 second of strength. I've given you the 1 second of strength tool where you have the power in 1 second to replace those negative thoughts with a positive one. You have the power in 1 second of strength to replace worry with faith, with goodness, with hope. You don't have to worry about the future because you can, in 1 second, focus on the present. You don't have to worry about all the opinions of other people because in 1 second you can focus on the things that you know that you can control. You can focus on the things that you really care about instead of the things that other people are saying. So you have an immense amount of power and control over your life. In fact, you are in control of your life. I always tell teenagers when I go speak in schools, I ask them who's in control of their life, and I tell them that they are in control. It's the number one foundation that I want them to understand. It's the number one foundation that I want you to understand, is that you are in control of your life. You can't control what other people say. You can't control what other people do, you can't control other people's actions, but you can always control your reaction. they can't ever take that away from you. And just because they say something or you think that they're saying something, which is the crux of this, right? We're worrying about what we think other people are saying. They're not. Let's focus on what's true. Let's focus on what's real. Let's focus on becoming the best version of ourselves. And let's focus on increasing our happiness. And let's do it by not worrying about all of those external factors that you can't possibly control. And it's not worth even trying to control them. This is about you. This is about your life. This is about becoming the best version of you. And the way to do that is by eliminating all the distractions so you can increase your happiness and your mental fortitude on the inside. So I hope that helps you wherever you're at. I'm always grateful for you. And if you could take 1 second, go leave a rating and review for the show. Share the show with someone else. If you share it on Instagram, tag me at Real Tanner Clark. We'll give you a shout out there. And I'll leave you the same way I always leave you. Go find your 1 second of strength and be happy.